This is your 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Interestingly, in the 7 years I've been doing this, this is my first Grand Cherokee, so better late than never. We'll do a quick Quirks and Irks. This is a long-standing 4th generation. So 7 slots, upgraded LED headlights, and the fog lights. Turn signals LED as well, looks really nice, has a nice unique pattern. I'm sure you've seen this before, but it's new to me, so just bear with me on this one. I'm really impressed with it. Despite it being over 10 years old for this generation, it is really comfortable, and it has that nice classic Jeep look. And I know you can't really muck around with a Jeep too much as far as styling and shape goes because it's got that identity, but it still looks good. And tinted rear windows from the factory for the Canadian market. Nice classic rims, double 5 spokes, but they still look pretty clean. And just nice simple body lines. You get that crease right there and right there at the bottom, just above the Grand Cherokee badging. Let's take a look around the rear. You got your halogen turn signals. Nice little spoiler up top. Forgive the leaves and the stems of the leaves. It's a pretty crappy day outside here, so leaves are falling and it's raining, which is why I'm in an underground parking lot. So you get your single tailpipe on the right side right there, and pretty good amount of ground clearance. And yes, it's a Jeep, so they want you to go off-roading, and we'll get into more of that on the interior portion. Let's take a quick look into the trunk while I give you your cargo figures. You can use the remote or you can use the handle right there. So plenty of space, seats are up, seats go down obviously in the 60-40 split. And you get this nice cool Jeep mat. Let me get out of the lights there, get out of the shadows, get out of the light. Little Jeep branding, it keeps things a little cleaner for you. And this has the upgraded audio system. There's one of the speakers there. So to close the tailgate, they're not up here, although there are physical handles on both sides, but it's on the driver's side. You just push that little button right there, and that's how you close it off. Again, forgive the leaves. I tried to get as many off as I could. Starting with the rear seats of the Grand Cherokee, yes, they go back and recline about 12 degrees, so a lot better than it being stationary and fixed, so little extra comfort on a road trip. Here's a big perk for me. The rubber floor mats come out in 2 pieces, and they lock together just in this little notching system. So you line that up, and that. Snap them together, and a lot easier to maneuver and work around, and more importantly, clean once you have them out for spring. So I'll show you how the seats fold down. One lever, and the whole thing goes down. It's almost flat, a little bit of an incline, but some beats none. So go to IKEA, get your flat pack furniture, and have an easy time bringing it home. That's the interior. These seats are just so damn comfortable. And it doesn't even matter that the thigh bolsters aren't all that great, but they're soft and cushy. But it's the side bolsters that really make a difference. They just keep you in place. And just this soft part, when I was wearing t-shirts a couple of days ago when it was warmer, so comfortable. And there is the option heated seats in this spec version, as well as a heated steering wheel. There's your logo. There is the since 1941. Let's get the engine started. I'll show you the opening graphic. Grand Cherokee there. Couple of beeps, full swipes of the needles. So it's not a Irk, it's more of a Quirk. So the needle for the tack is fairly long, but the needles for your temperature and gas are fairly short. And yes, I know before you get all, but Jay, it's a bigger dial here, but I don't know, just a little bit longer wouldn't have been the worst thing for me. Anyways, tons of information that you can pull out through here, and that is all controlled, this side, through here. And you kind of just do your scrolling, and again, standard Jeep stuff for you guys. Light controls are over here. Again, as you know, lots of functioning here. So this is your turn signal indicator. It is also your wiper control front and back. Lots of little symbols and dials and words there. So not dials, symbols and words. Sorry, it's early in the morning. I probably should have waited a bit. Anyways, and the rest of your light controls are there along with your gas door opening button. This has the upgraded large 8.4-inch Uconnect system, one of the best in the industry, really easy to use, and just it's well placed. I like how the fan vents are bookending it as opposed to being either below or above it. So really nice touch there. Couple of quick things. Let's go to the off-road pages because I mentioned that in the exterior portions. So wouldn't understand it's a Jeep thing, pretty cute. So anyways, you go to your dynamics. This only works for 40 kilometers an hour for your pitch and roll. So I'm just gonna put it in drive for a sec. And I don't know how much is gonna show because I'm at a parking lot. But I tried using it when I was doing about 50 kilometers, and it said cannot use above 40. So that's kind of the trail speed for safety. And then your select terrain as well. So nice image there. Let's use that as a segue to get to our drive modes, which are all here nicely centered. Auto, mud, rock, sand, and snow, depending on what you're doing. That's what you're going to pick. Classic gear shift, just nice, not that dial or the anything weird. Just I like how Jeep's kept it with this simple layout for the Grand Cherokee. You got your cup holders. In here you have your power sources and a little bit of privacy. A phone barely fits, but if you close it, it may not latch all the way. You got your HVAC. I'm going to have my standard complaints about this as far as the HVAC system goes. You can't change the direction of the air through here. You have to go into climate and then touch one of these up there. It gets a little annoying in the winter when you've got gloves on. You got to take your glove off. But aside from that, it's a really good, innovative system. Let's do the drive in the 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Under the hood, it's their classic 3.6 liter V6 engine, giving you 295 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque through an 8-speed automatic transmission. This is the Laredo, which is the base model, and I feel bad saying base model because it comes fairly decently equipped, but every trim ladder has to have something that starts them off, and for the Grand Cherokee, it is the Laredo. There are some options that Jeep Canada has put in this, like the upgraded LED lights, heated steering wheel, heated seats, upgraded audio system, couple of safety features. Yeah, I picked up the car, I texted my Jeep guy, and I'm like, Brad, this is extremely comfortable. And it wasn't that I thought poorly of the Grand Cherokee to begin with, but just how it eats up all the bumps and imperfections on the road, and how the seats are just so comfortable and cushy. And I would absolutely do a longer road trip in this, and I wouldn't mind being stuck in traffic in the Grand Cherokee. Pickup, not too bad, not the fastest in the class, but with the power figures the way they are, it's pretty good. At no point did I ever have a, oh, am I going to get up to speed fast enough on the highway moment at all. So Grand Cherokee does very well. Towing capabilities are 6,200 pounds. So if you are doing trailers, boats, jet skis, whatever it is, know that the Grand Cherokee is more than capable. Cornering handling, respectable for a vehicle of this size and this height. Don't take your turns too fast. Just be conscious of what's going on the road. Had a couple of passengers in the vehicle, and like me, they were very surprised at just how comfortable the rear seats are. Usually rear seats, they're good in all vehicles, not just the Grand Cherokee, but all the comfort is dedicated for the driver and the front passenger. But the passengers that I had were thoroughly impressed with the comfort in the rear seats for the Grand Cherokee. Let's jump into fuel consumption as I look at myself in the camera, and it looks like I've got a weirdly shaped sack of potatoes in here, but it's just that's the way my spring jacket is falling, or autumn jacket for that matter. So we're at 12.7 liters per 100 kilometers on city streets, 9.6 on the highway, and 11.3 as a blended total. Not too bad. Again, V6, bigger engine. I've had some people in the car about half the time, so I'm at 10.3. I've also done some longer drives, so I'm always hesitant about giving what my specific fuel consumption is because there's so many variables, and most of the time it is just me in the vehicle. I'm not hauling any stuff, any things, any extra weight in there. But just know that, you know, from half a week of having people in the vehicle, I'm at 10.3. Depends also on how you drive. But overall, for fuel consumption, as I wrap up this long sentence, which was meant to be short, not too bad. Main thing holding the Grand Cherokee back from higher sales to me is that it's still part of the 4th generation, which came out in 2010 as a 2011 model. So we're over the decade mark, and I know there's talks of an all-new one coming out either 2021 or 2022. So I hope that comes out sooner than later. And my comparison for that is what happened to Volvo and their XC90. I think it was 12 years, but in 13 years they had the same platform, which is really double the average lifespan of a vehicle. But when they came out with that new XC90, and I believe it was 2016, it was just a phenomenal machine, and I hope Jeep can capture some of that same excitement with an all-new Grand Cherokee. That's going to wrap up the review on the 2020 Grand Cherokee. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to get you answers as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the support. I really, really do. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Be well, be healthy, be safe. I'm going to stall for a couple of seconds as I get the vehicle to a full stop. And there we are. Right, so be well, be healthy, be safe, and I'll be back sooner than later, maybe with a better fitting jacket with my next review.